Antonio Brown has seen the light. Antonio Brown, former Pittsburgh Steeler, Oakland Raider, one-time New England Patriot wide receiver, has decided it's time to apologize, at least to the Pittsburgh Steelers. He went on 93.7 The Fan and had this to say.
I apologize to those guys for the distractions, the unwanted attention that probably caused those guys to their names and organization. So obviously you want to clear out any baggage or any disrespect or unintended attention that was brought on to the organization. These guys gave me an opportunity when I was 21 years old. We've been through so much, so I'm forever grateful and indebted to the Steelers organization, Mr. Rooney, Mike Tomlin, Kevin Colbert, Ben Roethlisberger. A lot of beautiful moments, a lot of positive things, so it's not all bad. I just think from an emotional standpoint, when stuff got bad, it just seemed bad, but we had a lot of good moments than bad.
Antonio Brown is sorry.
And I can feel the collective eye roll from everybody, because unfortunately with him, and I'm one that, and I certainly believe in the idea of you can come back. You've never gone too far where you can't come back home, all these different things, and that contrition is really possible. But with him, it's been this sort of seesaw for a while now of sorries followed by more outbursts and sorries followed by more attacks on other people and this and that. And so until I see some sort of stringer pattern, I don't really think it's responsible to buy what he's saying.
No, the famous saying is, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Antonio Brown's fooled us 3, 4, 5 times. I'm not here for the apology. I'd like to think, Mike, honestly, I'm a forgiving person. I believe in second chances. I believe in it personally. I believe in it professionally. We have these conversations about athletes who've done wrong. Should they be able to come back into the league? Should they be suspended for life? Should they go to jail? I'm almost inevitably on the side of welcome them back in. Let them reboot their life. But that doesn't mean I'm going to listen to Antonio Brown and believe a single word he is saying. This is the guy who has burned 3 different organizations, law enforcement on multiple occasions, his own family on video and put out by himself on his Instagram feed. And I think what really kind of burns me, and I'm interested to bring this up to you because I don't remember where you fell on this, but when Brown burned his way out of Pittsburgh, and he did, he specifically lit fire to everything in Pittsburgh, to Ben Roethlisberger's reputation, to the Rooney's reputation, to Mike Tomlin's reputation. He threw everything under the bus in service of Antonio Brown's new contract. When he did that, it was clear to me that he was being an incredibly selfish individual, and he was not some martyr to the idea of player rights. And yet, I'll tell you, man, honestly, I feel like from across the media landscape, first of all, I was called a horrible thing and horrible things about my attack, in quotation marks, on Antonio Brown. But across the media landscape, he was given this pass over and over again. And it's no surprise then that he thinks he's going to keep getting away with it.
Well, and that's just the thing is when you are someone as talented as Antonio Brown, it's usually a lifetime of those that kind of builds up into this, right? People seeing the talent and that starts in grade school. Pop Warner goes through high school of people saying, this guy's so good at this one thing that can get him out of whatever circumstances he's in or get him to a place he wouldn't be otherwise. We don't want to be the thing that stops him. And so you accept a lot of behavior that creates these things that go on. When that happened with Antonio Brown, I remember always trying to draw the distinction because things that come up like that, guy trying to get out of his circumstances, fall into that NBA model of guys having control over it. And I think that's why people tried to lump it into something that it wasn't with Antonio Brown.
Player empowerment.
Player empowerment, exactly. When that situation always seemed to have a bit of a different connotation to it. And so I guess that's where I look at it now and I say, you know what, if this were just in a vacuum, if all of that had happened, if we had gone through everything that we did now, but it hadn't been this seesaw of I'm sorry's and then screw-ups after the fact, I'd be much more inclined to say, man, this guy maybe finally hit that rock bottom we were always looking for. This guy might actually be contrite, might actually be sorry to the people in Pittsburgh that he wronged. But because we've seen that, and because within the body of a lot of these same interviews, and we saw him talk to our own Josina Anderson not too long ago, he simultaneously tries to say I'm sorry, but then when other instances come up, instances like some of the allegation of domestic impropriety, the assault allegations, the things that have come up there, he'll look at that and immediately turn around and say, well, I'm being targeted, start blaming other people. And that's the line where I always say, all right, I can have sympathy to a point, but at some point you've got to then acknowledge your own agency in every situation, not just the ones that are convenient for you.
It's easier now than it was then to see that Antonio Brown either has mental troubles or is just not a good dude. It's easier today than it was when he first burned his way out of Pittsburgh. But I think this guy has been obviously about himself, cloaking himself in victimhood, taking selfish victories from day one. I could one day look past it. This forgiveness, this apology, whoever he's asking it of, the Steelers, fan bases, NFL fans, and viewers, could one day be granted. But there's a lot of actions that need to pass through the treadmill before words have any meaning.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports and analysis, download the ESPN app, and for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.